And welcome back to Real Talk Sports with Rico. Today we're talking about week 9 of the NFL season and starting with the games that took place and just some of the major storylines here. And so let's start with the Thursday night game with the Jets. Surprised the Texans 21-13 in this one. Didn't think that the Texans would be beat, but going into this game, they did have some injury concerns. Tank Dell did have a good game, 6 receptions, 126 yards, but still no Nico Collins as he's been dealing with the hamstring injury. And then also to Stephon Diggs. He is out for the year with a knee injury. And so 21-13, the Houston Texans have to figure it out as far as the offense is concerned. And the Jets, well, they're trying to get things rolling. They're now 3-6. Next up, the Cowboys versus the Falcons. And so this was a tough game for the Dallas Cowboys because CeeDee Lamb looks like he hurt his shoulder. You have Dak Prescott, who left the game with a hamstring injury. They did not have Ezekiel Elliott in this game. I think that he had missed some meetings and things like that. I think unhappy with his role. And so the Cowboys have been a bit of a mess right now. They are 3-5. The Falcons at 6-3. I knew that they were going to be a better football team with Kirk Cousins. If they can defensively continue to get better, this is going to be a scary team. And I think that it is going to still come down to them and the Tampa Bay Bucks for the division in this one. But Kirk Cousins, I think he absolutely shredded the Cowboys. They are in some trouble. Next up, the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. And so nobody circles the wagon just like the Buffalo Bills here. And so that is Chris Berman here. But look, 30-27. This was all about Josh Allen getting it done. 25 of 39. He had 235 yards, 3 touchdowns in this one. A late drive for the Buffalo Bills to get the game-winning field goal to win this one. And this is tough for the Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins, I have said this before, that if Tua is not there, then they're really going to struggle. And obviously they were in this game. And I just wonder, with the time that he missed, I don't know if the Dolphins are going to have enough time to really turn this thing around. Defensively, they've been a mess as well. And so if you would have told me that Buffalo was going to be at the top of this division, I just would not believe it, considering that they've lost so many wide receivers and key players from really the run that they have had. And so, now the question is, not only can they win the division, but is this the year that they actually challenge the Kansas City Chiefs to get out of the AFC? I think that that's still going to be a stretch, but either way you look at it, the Buffalo Bills getting it done at 7-2. Next up, the Bengals get a win. They're 4-5. Look out. They're climbing up the standings here as they take care of the Raiders, who are now 2-7. I'm wondering about the Raiders now at this point in time. Are they looking to be a seller at the NFL trade deadline, which is coming up Tuesday? Currently, right now, during this recording, they haven't made any moves, but I think that is something that the Raiders might consider doing. And the Bengals, they're right there. They're hanging around. If they can continue to get some momentum, this is going to be a scary football team that nobody wants to see down the stretch. Next up, the Chargers taking care of the Cleveland Browns, winning today 27-10. And so with this, I think that you get a chance to see just how much the Chargers are really invested into running the football. They want to run the football first and then pass the football. And you see that Justin Herbert, only 27 attempts, 18 of 27, 282, 2 touchdowns. You get a chance to see that, they want to play a little bit more of a balanced style. And defensively, the Chargers have gotten a lot better under Coach Harbaugh. So this is going to be a tough team, not a team that you want to face down the stretch either. So I like the Chargers. I like the direction that they are going, and a tough one for the Cleveland Browns. Next up, you have the Tennessee Titans against the Patriots. And so, look, Drake May almost pulled this out for the Patriots, got a late score. Almost got something going here to Ramondre Stevenson to really, I think, send this into overtime. But unfortunately, the Titans are able to take care of business and get the win in this one, 20-17. Both teams need a lot of help as far as building out this football team. But very encouraged with what I saw from Drake May. I think that he is a quarterback, certainly, that the Patriots can build with. Next up, the Commanders and the Giants. And so, look, Jaden Daniels, the legend continues with this young man. 15 of 22, 209, 2 touchdowns. But more importantly, he is the first rookie quarterback in 50 years to sweep the New York Giants. And so this guy is absolutely getting it done. Terry McLaurin, 2 receptions, 19 yards, 2 touchdowns. Look, the defense is getting better. They are extending their lead in the NFC East. This is going to be a tough football team, and they could get even tougher if they make a move at the trade deadline. And Noah Brown has been quite a presence, or a nice surprise, I think, for the Washington Commanders coming over from the Houston Texans. So he's been pretty good working alongside of Terry McLaurin. Next up, the Saints versus the Panthers here. And so Derek Carr was back in this game, 18 of 31, 236, only a touchdown in this one, but really struggled as the Panthers come back and win this football game. And, this is tough, I think, for the Saints. The Saints had really had it rolling. The injury started to occur. And, you just see a team that I think that they are in trouble. They've got a lot of question marks going into the offseason. I know that this season still is not over just yet, but, I think that they may have to make some adjustments at the quarterback play. And Chris Olave went down, had a concussion. And so that was tough for the Saints in this one too as well. So, yeah, I think that the Saints definitely have got to go ahead and start to think about rebuilding. And I think it starts at the quarterback play for me. The Panthers, good that Bryce Young got the win. I'm glad to see that he got the win. They have not announced that he's going to be the starting quarterback for the next week. Hopefully this young man can continue to play some good football. I just think that he's been thrown into a tough situation there in Carolina. Next up, the Ravens take care of the Broncos 41-10. I gave kudos to the Broncos really coming out there. They've been playing very well defensively. Bo Nix has been playing very well, but this was all about the Ravens and just the Broncos. They just didn't have a good game. I mean, they just gave up like last second touchdowns at the end of the halves and stuff like that. It was just a lot of mistakes out there for the Broncos. So a tough one out there, and not taking anything away from the Baltimore Ravens because they looked very good. And this is a team that when they're playing like this, you just wonder, could they be the team that takes down the Chiefs? Because the way Derrick Henry ran the football, 23 carries, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. You had Lamar Jackson, 16 of 19, 280, and 3 touchdowns for him. Zay Flowers, 5 receptions, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, this is the kind of offense that might be needed if they're going to get out of the AFC and get to a Super Bowl appearance with Lamar Jackson. So a good one for the Baltimore Ravens. Next up, the Jaguars and the Eagles. And so the Eagles almost gave this football game away. They were up pretty big, and then 16 unanswered points by the Jaguars that really put them back in the football game. But Saquon Barkley, he was just on fire out there. 27 carries, 159 yards, 1 touchdown. But, man, he backwards hurdled somebody in this game. It is quite a play. I would urge everybody to go back and take a look at the highlight reel. But this is the kind of offense that the Eagles are looking forward to as they're looking to possibly get back into being in the Super Bowl again. They're 6-2, trying to keep pace with the Washington Commanders in the NFC East. Next up, the Bears and the Cardinals. A tough one for the Bears. The Cardinals continue to get some good wins, 5-4 at this point. Kyler Murray's looking pretty good. I like the fact that they're getting the football to James Conner. But I think for the Bears, I think that was a tough loss against the Washington Commanders. There's been a lot made about just the blown assignment at the end of the game. And I just think that is going to be tough, I think, for the Bears. They've really got to pull it together, just starting in the locker room, and then they've got to figure it out on the field. And so it's a tough one for Caleb Williams, 22 of 41. I think he was under a lot of pressure all day, and to put up just 9 points, I think, is tough for them. So I think that is something that the Chicago Bears are going to have to look at. I think that just from a team standpoint, they've got to pull it together after that tough loss with the Commanders. Next up, the Lions and the Packers. And so the Lions were all over the Packers in this one. It was terrible conditions. And I think a lot has been made about the Lions being a team that just cannot go outside in the cold weather and play some good football. And today, man, they went out there and they hammered the Packers. They did everything they wanted to do in the running game. Jared Goff was super efficient in this one. And so a tough one for the Packers. I think that they definitely missed out on some opportunities to really score some points in this game to try to get themselves back into it. But make no mistake about it, the Lions, they're looking pretty good, 7-1 in this division. The Packers 6-3, look to come back next week. Rams and the Seahawks, the Rams pulling out a nice comeback win in this one, get to overtime, one-handed catch there from Robinson to take them home. And, look, the Rams, I talked about this before. Now that they have Nakua back, they have Cooper Kupp back, like they're going to try to make a serious run. I don't think that this is a team that is going to be a seller at the NFL trade deadline. I don't think anybody's going anywhere. And I think that they're all in with Matthew Stafford. They're going to try to win this thing out and try to finish strong. And so they have a good chance to do so. They're 4-4 at this point. Seahawks fall to a disappointing 4-5, 2-4 at home. So a tough one after a good start for them. Geno Smith had 3 interceptions in this one, almost won the game on that, but a late surge from the Rams, able to push it to overtime and get the win. And then Sunday Night Football, the Vikings take care of the Colts 21-13. A lot was made about Joe Flacco starting for Anthony Richardson. And Joe Flacco was pressured all game long. And the Vikings, you get a chance to see that they are just not a passing team. I think that Aaron Jones ran the football very well. Sam Darnold ran the football very well. He did have some INTs in this one, but Justin Jefferson, I mean, he's that guy. 7 receptions, 137 yards. Like, he's making plays out there. And they got their tight end back too this week from the IR. So I think that this team is going to get a lot better down the stretch too. And so I think if defensively, if they can continue to play like this, Sam Darnold can stay even the way he's playing, the Vikings team could be very scary as well. They're 6-2, chasing after the Lions in that division. And so, coming up for the Monday night game, we have the Buccaneers and the Chiefs. I think that this is going to be a great game. The Buccaneers certainly need this. I think that Baker Mayfield is going to come in there trying to generate a lot of points. So I think that this is going to be a very much up and down the field type of affair. And let's see, can the Chiefs get to 8-0? I think that if the Buccaneers can possibly limit the turnovers, and if they can just get enough stops, maybe they can give themselves a chance against Patrick Mahomes and this talented Chiefs team. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you're thinking and key takeaways from this week 9 in the NFL season. We'll be talking a little bit more about week 10. Obviously, we'll be talking a little bit more about some of the trades that went or took place here. The next show up, we'll be talking more so the NBA as we get into, I think, week 2, week 3 of the NBA season. So we'll be talking about some key takeaways on that. And so catch us on Spotify. You can catch us on YouTube. This is Rico. This is Real Talk Sports. I'll catch you on the next one. All right. Peace. Peace.